What's up, everybody? Rex Extreme Werewolf, and today, after you saw my, saw that I've seen 36 views of my video of the sadly dismembered version that I'm gonna have, of the pick me up doll that I'm gonna have to dismember. So let me at least bring you in. Spike the Dragon. Granted, here's how he was made, originally designed. I had a little figure of sorts. He was sort of orange scaled and yellow underbellied and a man face and black toes and stuff. Basically, sort of like Imaginex or something, like one of the OG Imaginex things. Like he came with this orange Spinosaurus way back then. So, originally it was originally going to be like it was only around the arms really, but it wasn't this made up though. I mean, we'll get to that part, but it was mostly used as like I would use it. It was just only a pink shape that looks like a giant backpack, but then when I used the merged the character with it, but only for a little, it was like a mech suit in a way. But then I started to think, what if it was like turned into an actual thing? So, of course, here and there, made the bottom, the legs. Oh, and trust me, this one was a little difficult. And this one too, especially. Look how massive that is compared to the other. And of course, the tail was there too. What was originally. And I used an old piece of an original, like an OG Lego thing, like probably like a block toy thing, like a block company, blocks. So right now I'm thinking that this head would be much more better off with if I were to make Ember instead of Spike. I mean, I have some action figures of Spike. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. I mean, then again, I could do, well, actually, yes, I could. But it felt different. So, anywho, I already cut around here, and here are two parts right there, and here are the other three. So, you can also see that we're getting somewhere to his thing. So, luckily, I brought my scissors, and we will be cutting off pieces so I could slowly show you how I made him. Because I also wanted to try to make his hair. I had to put a few bits of light green yarn to make it. It is also so darn difficult because look at and right here with his mouth, it was so darn difficult because it's not really shaped right. I tried everything: twine, yarn, even some not actual just yarn, but also some weird laces to try and make him. Like you can see the bits of gray around the horns. However, this is not supposed to be Spike. He wouldn't even look like this. He doesn't have horns on the side. Like maybe Smolder would have horns on the up. The end bit goes down. So we will be taking rid of some of these pieces. Oh, and look at this hand. I barely got that part done. And this hand, it was supposed to be originally supposed to be. I wanted to put something in it, but it didn't work. And then I had to redo it. It was like too long. Had to actually bundle the thing up with and made sure to keep it in place with the twine. So when I cut this, it is going to probably go back. So I just took out a long piece of a string that connected to him, and here's where you can see more bits of it. He has a short neck. I mean, I tried to basically match it right. There's like a little bit of a knot right there with that. If you could see that little red thing, I'm gonna wait for a little, or maybe I can try. Oh wait, hold on. I can probably try it. Oh yeah, I can. I can pull it off. There it is. I will say that I had a lot of great times playing with it as myself back when around 2016 something ish. Basically, it was a good thing. I'll just say that. Okay, now I'm gonna need to cut this part. Here's the piece of the yarn that I use, this gray yarn. So we're basically removing most of the gray yarn first, then we'll go back down to the bits of yarn, and then I'll show you what else I've used to create. Because when it comes to these pick-me-ups, I basically I was sort of a collector of sorts. But I, unlike the sin of greed, the actual concept, which would be more about wealth, that type of greed, this type of greed is not really, is more of like a less fatal version of the sin. Right now, I am just, originally I wanted to make it look like some cool figure. However, I was hoping to at least keep this guy at least a little bit longer, but here's the thing. These yarn things could sort of take up a lot of space, and honestly might need like, so let's just get, so I might want to try and make them more smaller in the future. But when it comes to these characters are made up of not just yarn or twine or lace or whatever. They are also pieces of things I found, like paper towels and napkins. No, not toilet papers. Toilet papers are touched by literally anyone else, so do not use toilet papers if you are planning on making this. However, these guys don't have to be exact. These characters are just sort, like, you can make random types of knots just until they feel right to you. That's how you make a pick-me-up doll. You have to at least try to envision it, but even when you do it, the envisionment does not work, which is where you have to sort of like follow up on that little failed version of what you imagined it to look like, but it actually sort of looks good better. Surprisingly, I will, after a few more of these, once I get rid of the gray stuff, I'll show you what the other characters I have. The second character is actually, before I even unveil him, got a piece of darn yarn stuck to my tongue. Do not use your mouth on these more fuzzy yarns. But if you're allergic to certain pieces of fabric, such as wool or cotton, I suggest you don't touch them. Mainly use stuff that aren't things. Now, if you have seen some of my shorts, I would also sometimes apply these stuff to specific things where their characters do not like to represent bones and stuff. Like, think of, okay, while they are called pick me up dolls, but you can also call them by another idea of mine, Frankenstein dolls. Because you see, you gotta like sort of make the skin, which is the yarn just tied up around certain areas, like make the paper towels as either shape them as either bones or muscle tissue. You don't have to do organs. I mean, actually tried a few characters to make the heart, but it just didn't feel right. So I stopped doing that. The characters I have at least succeeded in, actually there was a character that was super, there were a few characters that were super difficult to make. They were Lord T-Rex, the magic draining centaur who debuted in the season finale, in the two-part season finale of season 4 of My Little Pony G4, Friendship is Magic. Friendship is Magic. No, man, about that. But of course, I tried to do the 4 legs, and I almost succeeded, but didn't have much mobility since his horse side didn't work. I was at least a little bit good with the arms and the head, and didn't really do good with the horns. So the horns, I just so I dismantled him. I even tried making Iron Will. Hmm. Other than T-Rex, there was another horned figure of the show, and that was Iron Will. Iron Will was another choice, but he didn't work either. And speaking of tough characters of My Little Pony, there was also Garble. Did not work well. I didn't even get him to get a red yarn to make him. So Garble, Thor. Oh, I even made Thorax too. tried to make him based off his his bear form, but that did not work either. I know I'm gonna have to delete. I think I did the same with Pharynx. Yeah, I kind of did that with Pharynx too, in his giant bug form. Sadly, that didn't work either. Like a belt buckle or something with his character. Sometimes when it comes to these characters, they are like whenever I'm trying to make the legs, the tails or stuff, it's so darn difficult to keep it. Even around crotch areas if you're trying to make a male or female version of it. I mean, after all, they have to be based off of something. So with Spike, it was a little fun. Oh, it's right now on the tail. Oh, wait, hold on. Is there like a little yep, it only was once. Sometimes it'll sort of overlap a certain body part, such as an arm, a leg, the back, or the neck, but it won't stay long. Like, if you're trying to make it so that there's not much space between the legs, like where it's sort of closely related to like a humanoid structure or at least some anthropomorphic structure, it's a little difficult. So I've used so many types of yarn to make them. Thin yarn, thick yarn, any type of yarn, fuzzy or non-fuzzy, just to make these structures. And I work on, heck, I even did this during school around like 2016, 2017, 2018, up to graduating in 2019. But huh, then again, I it was a good spot for me to collect paper towels and stuff, but not toilet paper. No, everyone knows that everyone touches that stuff. So no, that's why I don't use toilet paper. That is the one rule. And if you ever come up with this, if you want to make a pick me up, I strongly suggest that you do not use toilet paper. It is nasty. Like Cleveland Brown would say, that's nasty. Well, that'll be a good character again, darn Fortnite. But I'm stuck with Homer Simpson, stuck with darn Peter Griffin. Oh, I'm at least happy about Marge. And rather than getting Bart, I chose to buy Lisa because at least Lisa's more kinder. Oh yeah, here's something else you won't believe. Bart was actually the inspiration since he was technically born before this show came in 1999. The show he was the inspiration to make SpongeBob of all characters. But here's the thing. SpongeBob's the nicer Bart. Bart's the eviler SpongeBob. The ridges on hit Bart's head were rounded and given to a character with so much joy rather than so much chaos. If anything, I don't know what sin, one of the seven deadly sins that would fit Bart, but one thing's for sure, I prefer SpongeBob over Bart. Here we go. We're just about to reached the hip area. Dang, this was like around the tail, but now we reached this spot around his back. Oh man, how much I was a fool in doing that. You know what? Let's do this. Oh yeah, that's another thing too. Unraveling or just raveling it all together or unraveling it all together it'll cause a little strain to your shoulder. So feel free to take a little bit of a break. Oh yeah, and let me just say about Fortnite, I'm not happy that SpongeBob was not a skin, but a sidekick. I hope Squidward is a darn skin. But darn, look at all that yarn. Better save for some of this. Just see how much yarn I've used. You'll be surprised to see how much I've used for that tail and the leg. So weird, guys. Oh, there's a little knot there. Make sure to double knot, triple knot, so that they can even stay together. But if you can at least try and manage to get them apart, that's something. I got an idea. There. Can't let this go waste. That's one bits down. Gonna tuck them under. I'll find a spot for that. I'll find a spot for this. Okay, let's see if there's it. Oh, that's pretty much it. Ugh, it's gonna be a lot of yarn to cut. We should probably get to this tail. Okay, so before I don't want to get rid of the twine, because that twine is so good. Oh, darn, why did I have to make a bow out of this? I'm not good. I don't know how to tie shoes, that's for sure. I did once, but that was a long time ago during something, and I suck at, trust me. Hmm. Gotta pull. There. Pull that part off. And now, I believe. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Yep, there it is. We'll just do this. Oh yeah, so I made it look like this in a way. Yeah, there we go. Oops. We'll worry about knots and stuff later with this, but for now, let's just bundle it up and save it for later. I'll put this in the storage bag or something with this, or a storage container or whatever, but for now, we gotta get this tail free so we can cut the rest off because it is just so darn taking forever to unravel. Ah, there we go. It's all off now. Gotta be careful because I don't want to destroy any extra yarn I might save in the future. Here's some bits of his tail, but apparently, look, like even there, you could see a bit what I was talking about. Like I used some of the paper towels to represent the bone, like white at least, or brown. Gotta have structure. The building blocks of life. Only though, I have to sadly dismember this life. Be the Grim Reaper to this guy, considering he was not. Since I haven't actually went back to continue him in a long time, I sort of went to do others now. Uh, I was like going back and forth with some characters, but made some of them feel more closely to just close enough in a way. I tried to get them closely perfect to perfect, but it's only pretty much, I would say, 90%. I would give a 90%. The other 10% would probably not as fruition. However, this one character I did was pretty much good, but I'm going to probably fix it so that his tail is not too long. Well, his tail is pretty much long. I mean, there's like tail a tail fluffle I made for him. Do you want to just do this? There. So while I'm cutting, I might as well tell you there is some other stuff I would like to do. Like for one instance, there is a 360 game I've wanted to get, and I'm hoping to get once I get this newly 360 that I got. But apparently, without a certain attachment, I won't be able to play it with the TV because we would need an HDMI switcher. However, the game I'm thinking about getting is Surf's Up. It is a if you don't know that what that show what that movie or franchise is, it is literally a bunch of penguins from all over the world who basically make up who basically go surfing. And of course, there's one penguin in particular, voiced by Shia LaBeouf, the one who gave birth to the meme "Just Do It," is the voice actor of Cody Maverick, a macaroni penguin. You know, the penguins with those long yellow eyebrows. He lives in, and of course, they live in Antarctica. Well, some penguins don't even live in Antarctica. He befriended a chicken by the name of Chicken Joe. Sort of like a hipster in a way. Well, he's more of a rooster, really. But people call him Chicken Joe. Technically my favorite character, especially with the fact that in the sequel he teams up with a character based off of a WWE superstar, voiced by a WWE superstar, and his name is none other than The Undertaker. They literally had to make it so that Chicken Joe teamed up with The Undertaker. That was good writing. There needs to be a comedy in some of these cartoons, and having Chicken Joe, a hipster type character, a groovy in a way, team up with a dangerous character or powerful force. Dang, that easily hurts with the eye sting. I don't know how he does it. Maybe a lot of practice. But anywho, it's still sort of cool that he was teamed up with the Undertaker, and with that game specifically, the first of the based on the first movie, I only played the demo sadly, which allows me to play as Cody Maverick with his ice-made surfboard, Chicken Joe, or Lani Pelicani, his Cody's girlfriend. But I realized that because it belongs to Sony, they added a special character outside of the franchise to be part of this. And you won't believe it is none other than a deer from the same company, and that deer is none other than the incredible Mr. E. Elliott. Well, then again, it makes sense that he would be more fitting since penguins are more lightweight. Well, I don't know how Tank Evans is. I mean, technically, it's still sad that the only characters you could ever play in the demo are just Cody, Joe, and Lonnie. You can't play as Big Z, can't play Tank Evans or any of the other penguins, especially that one from Australia. Surprisingly, I didn't know Australia had penguins. And there are also darn a few others. However, I would pretty much still get that game for the heck of it. And dang, the music they play whenever you try doing the surf contest. I mean, the surfing things. That was so fun. Ah, reached a little knot there. Oh, it just dangled down. Well, folks, here it is. The tail. Originally, I tried to make it like a spade tail to represent Spike's tail in the show, but apparently, with the gray layer of coating, it sort of looks more like a mix between a lemur's tail and a xenomorph tail. But anywho, we better continue. Alright, guys, here's one of the toes for Spike, and it'll soon be coming off. Here's the toe. Here's the other bit of the toe. Alright, guys, so this is what he looks like a bit right now. Sort of getting closer to the inner, and this is what I've done during the whole long pause, but anywho, we will continue on with another video for this, but for now, I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!